All right, y'all. Justin Cappon Pro is my name. JustinCapponPro.com is my website. I'm a startup business mentor and a branding strategist that specializes in helping startup entrepreneurs turn your passion, your gifting, your ideas into a profitable and scalable brand, leveraging the power of social media marketing. If you are new to me, welcome. I'm so glad that you're here. If you're new to me on Facebook, I'd love for you to send me a friend request and get connected. Let me know and if it's your first time in the chat stream. If you're new to me on my YouTube channel, I'm so glad that you're here. I'd love for you to smash that subscribe button and follow along to my content. I drop brand new content down every single day, every single week, and I'd love for you to follow along with what I do, and I'd love to see what you're up to as well. All right, today we're going to be talking about strategic online business tips, specifically how to position yourself to attract paying clients. I'm going to hook you guys up with 7 of my very best tips today to help you position yourself to attract those paying clients. I'm going to start you out today with my quote of the day. I love sharing the quote of the day every once in a while. This one resonates, and I've shared this one before, but I will share it again. My quote for you today is by a man named Michael LeBouf that says, "A large portion of new startup businesses fail simply because their founders continue to think and act like employees, waiting for someone to tell them what to do." I'm going to say that again. Camille, good morning to you, my friend. A large portion of new startup businesses fail simply because their founders continue to think and act like employees, waiting for someone to tell them what to do. That's a quote by Michael LeBouf, and I also put that in the comments of my broadcast if you want to copy that down, because that's a good one to remember as you are building your business. All right, so as I shared with you when I first kicked off this video, there are 2 specific things that every single prospect or social media follower that you have is looking for when they're trying to identify someone that they would like to hire, someone that they're actually willing to pay for. Because it's the problem. The problem that a lot of people have with getting their startup businesses started, a problem that a lot of people have is they end up getting stuck in the friend zone with their social media audience. Y'all know what I'm talking about? You can get stuck in the friend zone, and what happens when you get stuck in the friend zone is it's very easy to build a social media following, people that pay attention to you, comment on your videos, follow your posts, engage with you on Instagram, check out your YouTube channel. It's very easy to eventually build up a following of people that'll pay attention to you, but there is a very distinct difference between being likable and being hireable. And the problem that a lot of people have is they get stuck in the friend zone with their social media audience, where they create content, they do posts, they create videos, but they build an audience of people that just view them as a likable person. They view them as someone who's got good information. I enjoy your broadcast. You're really encouraging, or you're really helpful, or you're really whatever. But they haven't crossed over into, you know what, I think I could hire you. And I think I could actually have you help me with something. So this is the challenge, is to get past the friend zone with your social media audience and get them viewing you as a hireable professional. So today what we're going to talk about is how to do that. I'm going to give you 7 of my best tips. Actually, I have 8 of them. I'm going to give you a bonus tip. 8 of my best tips to help and this is simple stuff, some very simple yet strategic things that you can do that will help create that perspective. Jalil, good morning to you, sir. Thanks for coming in. Jackie, I see you. Great morning to you. I appreciate you being here as well. I'm going to kick open my my Facebook again real quick, y'all, because I'm not seeing your comments flow the way I would like to. And see if I can get you in there. There we go. That's better. All right, so 2 things. I told you 2 things that a potential prospect is, let me say it this way. 2 things that are going to dramatically influence their decision to hire you. And this is really the thing that differentiates whether you're going to be friend zone or whether you're going to be viewed as a hireable professional. And the 2 things that you need to write down if you're taking notes is perspective and position. Your perspective and your position are what will get you hired. Because listen to me, people will interact with you based upon their perspective of you. All right, so if people view you as someone who is a hireable professional, they'll interact with you and they'll treat you that way. If people view you as just a nice person that's going about life but does a video every once in a while and does a post every once in a while, and they're pretty inspiring and they're pretty encouraging, they're going to interact with you that way. So people's perception of you, people's perspective of you, it will dramatically influence whether they choose to go beyond friend zone and actually pay you cash money. All right, so this is the difference between being a likable person and and being a hireable professional. That's the first piece, is perspective. So perspective is powerful. We're gonna dive into that a bit today. The second thing is position. If people have a sound perspective of you, they view you as a hireable professional, but they don't know what your position is. They don't know what you specialize in. They don't have a clear picture in their mind of what exactly you're hireable for. You're still not going to get hired. You're still not going to find yourself with paying clients. Because even if they view you as a go-getter, a business owner, an entrepreneur, somebody who's going out and doing it right, and they admire you, and they like your information, they like your content, but they don't know what you specialize in, and they don't know exactly how you can help them, you're not going to get a client. So perspective and position is what gets you hired. If you nail those two things, you can create this powerful perspective around yourself that you are a first-class professional that is worthy of hire, and you establish a very clear position of exactly what you're hireable for. That's when clients start coming out of the woodwork. That's when you can start turning your social media interactions into loyal paying clients that will continue coming back to you. So perspective and position is what we're out to accomplish. And I want everybody I want to make sure you're awake. Cheers and good morning to you on this Thursday morning. I hope your morning beverage is delicious, and I hope you're excited to hang out in this content today. So everybody that's joining me live, put perspective and position in the comments so I can make sure that you're all awake and paying attention this morning, all right? So what we're going to talk about as we go through each of these tips is I'm going to give you some things that are going to help you establish the perspective, and then a few things that are going to help you establish your position, okay? The first one I'm going to talk about, and again, these are simple, but they are also strategic, right? The first one I'm going to share with you is consider updating your profile picture and your cover photo. The reason why I say that, and this is not for everybody, because I'm looking at some of my peeps here, like I see Camille, I love your profile picture. Jackie, I love it. Jalil, I love it. Tasha, I love your profile picture. This is what I would tell you though. If you've had the same profile picture for a long time, like it's been there for forever, you might consider updating it. Now, those guys that I'm seeing a lot of your profile pictures right now, if that's recent, fairly recent, a few months, that's cool. If you've had the same profile picture for like 5 years, it's time to update your profile picture. I rotate my profile picture, I would say probably about every 3 months, and I have a couple different perspectives around this. And I rotate my cover photos as well. Let me give you let's just have a brief discussion about this one, all right? So, your Facebook personal page needs to be handled differently than your professional profile. So for example, my Facebook business page, my Twitter profile, my LinkedIn profile, Periscope, even though Periscope's going down soon, those professional Justin Cappon Pro profiles have a very specific branded cover, and my profile picture is my headshot, and those stay the same. I don't rotate those. I do, however, rotate my Facebook personal page. And the reason for that is because that's where people follow your story. And for some of you guys that maybe Instagram, I rotate my Instagram profile picture as well. Some of you guys, this is what I just want to say, is whatever platform you are primarily engaging with your audience. They're following your story. They're following your content. That's where they go to connect with you. That's where they go to engage with you. It's good to rotate your profile images and your header images to give them some fresh perspective of you. All right. So recently I just got back from vacation. So my current profile picture is a picture of myself and my wife on the beach, and my cover photo is a spectacular sunset beach shot that I got. Now, Justin, what does that have to do with anything about business? How does that help your perspective? Is because those are called lifestyle photos. And what that means is I capture glimpses of the lifestyle that I live as an entrepreneur and as a business owner. And so it creates a perspective of me that, man, Justin is on a vacation again. I love that. I want to get to a point where I can take a vacation like that. I wonder if he can help me. Or and then some cases, my cover photo will be about my business. Like this time last year, I was in Phoenix doing a mastermind retreat with some of my exclusive clients. And so my profile picture, my cover photo was telling the story of what I was doing in Phoenix, having this first-class mastermind in Phoenix. lifestyle, perspective. Sometimes my cover photos are a headshot of me. And it's a headshot. Maybe my cover photo is something about my business. So I rotate my cover photo and my profile picture to continue building a story on who I am and what I do and how I do it and the life that I live, because that fuels my audience and continually builds on that perception that people have of me as a successful online business owner and a business coach. So new profile, new cover photos. Remember a couple things about photos. This number one is all about perspective, right? Remember that your photos are the first thing that people see. They're the first impression, all right? So if someone is having a chat with their friend over coffee, and their friend saying, yeah, I'm starting up a new business and I think I need to get a website done, maybe get some branding done, they're like, you need to talk to Justin. That's what he specializes in. He specializes in helping startup entrepreneurs get their business started. You need to talk to him. He could definitely be willing to help you. But if that person doesn't know anything about me, then the only perception that they have so far is just the influence from the recommendation that their friend gave them. The first thing they're going to go to do, two places that they're either going to go first. The first place may be Google. If they go to Google, they're going to Google me, and they're going to look up what they see on Google. But more likely, most people go to Facebook first. I mean, do you? I do. Like, if anybody recommends anybody to me, if I connect with someone new, if I'm looking to get to know someone, the first place that I go is Facebook, because I know that I can learn a lot about someone based upon their Facebook profile. So your Facebook profile is really, really important. So those photos need to tell a story. Now, if you want to be known as, if you want people to know you as, I'm going to be careful what I say. I'm going to say this. Be intentional about how you want people to view you. Okay? Because your Facebook profile picture and your cover photo tell a story. They tell a story, and it's the first thing that people see. So whatever perspective you want people to have of you, you have to be intentional about those photos, because those photos begin that narrative, and they're only going to add to the perspective or take away from the perspective that they maybe initially had from you before they came to check you out. Like, if they come across an awesome video of you, like, think, for example, let's say you go out and do an awesome video. This is an actual real life example, because I saw this on vacation. I've recently connected to someone new through Clubhouse. I friend requested them. We're connected on Clubhouse. And on Clubhouse, they have this great professional profile, and I was super impressed with the way I went to their Instagram. They had a decent Instagram. It wasn't crazy, but I really liked the way they presented them on Clubhouse. And the chat that we had on Clubhouse was awesome. So I connected to them on Facebook. When I was on vacation, I came across one of their videos. And I'm like, I'll watch it for a minute. So I was watching a few minutes of their videos, and it just added to that perspective a little bit. I'm like, I haven't taken the time just to check this person out and see what they're up to. So I went to their Facebook profile. Their Facebook profile picture was a terrible picture. It was like way out in the distance. I don't know what the story is of what they're doing, but it was them with another person. I don't know if that's their spouse or whatever. It was way out in the distance. And I couldn't tell what was going on in this picture, and there was no explanation of the picture, so it's just this weird picture. And then their cover photo was a collage of photos that were super grainy, not real high quality. You could tell they kind of mashed it together, and it just didn't fuel the narrative of what I had picked up from them on Clubhouse. So I'm like, well, maybe that's just their cover or whatever. So I went down into their feed. Their feed was filled with a whole bunch of shares from other people, and then a whole bunch of political stuff. Now I'm trying to give them the benefit of the doubt, and I'm scrolling down through their feed. I could not find a single post or video or anything that supported the perspective that I had initially established with them. And it actually, where I had them kind of up here in my mind, it dropped them way down. And this is like a matter of 2 minutes, just a quick scroll through their page. So be aware that if you're really working to attract paying clients, you got to make sure that everything that you are doing is adding to the narrative that you want to create for yourself and giving people the right perspective and then building on that perspective. One of my tips that I'm not giving you today, but I'm just going to throw it out there because we talked about it, is maintain your personal timeline. Meaning, if you are a chronic sharer, like you love sharing stuff all the time, that's fine, that's awesome. If you share something, go to your personal timeline, go to the share that you shared, click the little 3 dots in the corner and hide the post from your timeline. That share still goes out, your audience will still see it, but if someone comes to your personal timeline, if people come to your personal timeline to check you out, they're not coming to your personal timeline to see posts about everybody else. They're coming to learn about you. So if my girl Camille goes and does an amazing live video, and I love it, and it's amazing, I go in, I'm watching the live video, and this is awesome, I love it so much, I share it, I'll share that video out, but as soon as I share it, I go to my personal timeline, and I hide the share from my personal feed. The share still goes out, and it'll still help Camille get that visibility, but if someone comes to my personal timeline to learn about me, they're not coming there to learn about Camille, they're coming to learn about me. All right, so your personal timeline needs to be clean. If you've got anything on your personal timeline that is political, divisive, negative, whiny, complaining, ugly, whatever, get rid of it, because it will destroy whatever credibility that you may have had to get someone on your timeline to look at what you do, okay? That's number one. I'm not going to spend 20 minutes on each of these points, just FYI, but there's a lot in that that's super important. People are like, it's just a profile picture. No, it's not just a profile picture. It's the first impression. And you've got to get those impressions right, because you never know. If you get someone that comes to somebody may have been recommended to you, and then they come and they check out your profile, and you may just flat turn them straight off just by the picture. All right, very important. Yes, remove tags too. Camille said just remove tags, because people will tag you and stuff all the time. If I get tagged in something, I immediately go and I remove the tag. If you don't know how to do that, you'll get a little notification that says you've been tagged in such and such a post. You click on it, go to the actual post, tap the little 3 dots up in the corner, which is the options, and you say remove tag. Pull that tag right off there, and it will not show up on your feed anymore. Now, if you're tagged in something that's legitimate, you know, like if one of my people gets their new website finished and they post their new website and like, love this so much, and thank you Justin Cappon, and they tag me, of course I'll leave that tag, because that helps the narrative of what I'm doing. But if someone's like launching a brand new book, I'd love for y'all to check it out, and they tag 99 people and I'm one of them, and I didn't have anything to do with your book, I'm like, why are you tagging me? Like, I worked for my business and my audience and my growth. Go work for your own. Don't use my audience to grow yourself, right? So if you need to remove tags, okay? That's number one. The second thing right along with this is, number 2, is to update your bio and align that bio across all your social networks. And this is, again, perspective. So on every social network, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, LinkedIn, TikTok, wherever you're at, you have the opportunity to put a bio, a short bio. Make sure you get that right. And again, this is all about what perspective do you want people to have of you? You know, I'm going to give you another example that I came across last night. I was scrolling through, I don't even know how I'm friends with this person, but I came across this person that made this post about the stimulus checks. And they're like, yeah, every one of these $1,400 stimulus checks are going to cost you $14,000 over the next 5 years. And they're like throwing out all these wild numbers. I'm like, that seems a little, And then so people going into the comments, and people are like ripping her apart. Where's your facts? Where's your data? Have you heard of these numbers? She's like, you just know it's gonna. And she had no facts to back up her statements. So she's getting in arguments with all these people. And then she's like, you need to know that the government is overreaching us in every way possible, and blah blah blah. I'm like, who is this person? So I click, I'm trying to wonder why I'm even friends with them. So I click on him, and I go to her profile picture, or I go to her profile. Her Facebook profile says, lover of the Lord, giver of hope, mom of something, whatever. And I'm like, whoa. Giver of hope? You're a giver of hope? And I start going down through her feed, and every single post on her feed is about how the government is going to wreck our lives, and the blah, 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 and all this stuff. And I'm like, I'm missing the hope part. Like, where's the hope and the joy and the love of Jesus, right? So I'm missing that. So, you know, perspective. We are no longer friends. I don't even know how we're friends in the first place, but we're no longer friends after that interaction. But I'm like, your bio, make sure your bio at the top tells people who you are, what you do, and then if they scroll past that bio, your feed needs to align with that. Your photos need to align with that. So my bio, I don't know exactly, but my bio will say something like man of God, startup business mentor, branding strategist, peak performance coach, published author, something like that, keynote speaker. That's who I am, right? That's what I do. That's what I am. That's what I am. That's what I do. And again, the trick with this is you're limited on character count. So you got to get the right stuff in there. But for me, I want to be known as the best startup business mentor you know. I want to be known as the best branding strategist you know. I want to be known as a peak performance coach that will challenge you and encourage you and inspire you to operate at a very, very high level. I'm a keynote speaker. I'm a published author. I want people to know that about me. That feeds perspective. Justin is a hireable professional. Now, I could say, love my wife, father of 4, snowboarder. I could say all these things that I do, but is that going to feed the narrative that I want people to think about me? Do I want people, when they first see me and engage with me, to be like, oh, he's a snowboarder. That's cool, and he's got 4 kids, and he's married. That's amazing. No, I want to know. I want you to know who I am and what I'm about. Now, if you go into my feature photos, which is a whole different segment, you'll see pictures of my wife and my kids. And I want you to know that I love the Lord and that I have an amazing family and I love my wife and I love my kids. But when I'm creating the narrative and the perspective, this is who I am. This is what I do. I got lifestyle photos. I've got a great bio. And then you go into my content and all my content aligns with that. Yes, I am a snowboarder, Camille. So, updating your bio. If you have not updated your bio in a while, I encourage you to do that and ask yourself, if I'm limited on this character count, what do I want to say? What's the key thing that if I have a new prospect coming to visit me and check out my profile, what's the key information that I want them to know about me? Get that bio right, and then once you get that bio right, align it everywhere. So you get the same bio on Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, Instagram, Snapchat, TikTok, wherever you're engaging with your audience, get those bios aligned everywhere, all right? Right along with that, number 3 is update your profiles with one link. One link, okay? Not multiple links. There are different places like Facebook, for example, where you can post a website, Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, Twitter, you can put all your links. Today's consumer, if they like what they see, when they visit your profile for the first time, they will give you 8 seconds of attention and 1 click. If they like what they see. 8 seconds of attention and 1 click. So, you need to make sure that click, if they like what they see, you need to make sure that 1 click is the one that you want them to click on. So this is where this is all about perspective. What's the first place, the only place that you want them to go? What's the best place for them to engage with you? Now, a great way to kind of get around the 1 click thing is to build a micro landing page. I'm not going to go into all that today, but a micro landing page is using something like Linktree or Contact in Bio, where you click there and it gives you a summary of a variety of things that they can click on. That's a good way to get around that. But you need to make sure they got 1 clickable option, 1 link. So if you're the person that has 17 links on your thing, cut those down, choose 1 link, and that link should be the same on all of your profiles, all right? Number 4, we're going to start getting into position. So those 3 things, your profile pictures, your bio, alignment with your bio, and then your link with alignment, all of those things are about initial perception, first impressions, perspective. Those things are all about forming a perspective that people can see you the way you want to be seen, all right? Honestly, I think so many people struggle to get people paying any attention to you and taking you seriously, simply because there's some simple things that you just get wrong. The pictures are wrong. The bio is wrong. The links are missing, or there's too many of them, and it becomes confusing. Right? So it has to be simple, clean, pointed, to the fact, because people have a short attention span, y'all. Let me just take a drink of my coffee. Cheers, and good morning to you. Today's audience has such a short attention span. It's like, it's a lightning bolt, man. So if there's anything that they see from you or experience from you that they just don't like, you've lost them. It's over, right? So those first impressions, those first things that people see, no matter what profile they're on, those first impressions have to be right. Have to be right on point, all right? Number four is to establish 3 to 5 core brand themes. Okay? This is about your position. All right, now again, the 2 things that every consumer needs to see from you if you want to get them out of the friend zone and viewing you as a hireable professional is perspective and position. Perspective is that first impression. Perspective, if your perspective is wrong, they'll never hire you. But even if you get the perspective right, but you're lacking position, they may like you, but they may not know exactly what you're hireable for or how you might be able to help them. This is where you have to establish position. So the first great way to establish position is to establish 3 to 5 core brand themes. Now, what does that mean? Every business, especially an online business, if you're a content creator, has got to have a core. Has got to have a base, all right? So, for example, my core brand themes are 21st century branding strategy, social media marketing strategy, personal development for business owners, and then content monetization. I have 4. Again, 21st century branding strategy, social media marketing strategy, personal development for business owners, and content monetization. Those are my 4 themes, all right? Those 4 themes make up everything that I do. You will never, ever hear me teach a video or teach a masterclass or share content in any way that does not fall into one of those 4 buckets, all right? So today's content would fall under the line of social media marketing strategy and branding strategy, so it kind of falls into both. Some days I'm talking straight personal development. Some days I'm talking about how to make money with your ideas, how to monetize your mind, right? So everything that I ever share is about one of those 4 things. Now, the reason why that's important is because every bit of content that I share, if I'm creating content and I'm thinking about things that I want to share, I check them against those 4 buckets. Does this fit into one of those 4 buckets? If not, I'm not sharing it. Like you'll never hear me teach a video on investing options. You never hear me teach a video on how to grill a great steak on the grill. Those are all things that I can tell you about, but it does not feed the narrative of my brand. It does not advance my position. So if I ever share content that falls outside of those 4 buckets, now I'm diluting my message and I'm diluting my perspective. And this is the thing. I want you to get this, all right? Everybody say good morning, Justin, in the chat room, so I make sure you're awake, all right? Cheers and good morning to you. This is the thing. One of the things I get asked all the time is, Justin, how do I know how much content to share? How do I know how much to give away for free? At what point do I stop sharing this and start charging for that? This is the thing. Don't be afraid to teach your very best stuff. All right? Because everything that you teach and everything that you share is about establishing your position. So I can come out here and I can teach you and share with you every tip and every technique and everything that I could possibly teach you about branding. And I have been doing that for years. I've been doing live broadcasting for 5 years. I can teach you everything you need to know. And people are like, well, Justin, if you teach all that, what are they going to hire you for? Your perspective is off. This is not about if I share this online live, then they won't pay for it. People, listen to me. People don't pay for information. People pay for the person who's delivering the information. And I can share with you every tip, every strategy, every technique that I know about building a business online. I can share it all, teach it all live. And there's very little in my world that I've not shared on live video because my mission is to help people. But you can share everything, all your stuff, and people will still hire you to help them implement it. Because that's the only difference between free and paid. Paid means you get me. Free means you get the information. Paid means you get me. All right? So I want you to change the perspective. If you're stuck on this, well, Justin, how much? What do I offer for free, and what do I offer? What do I try to sell? Change your perspective. Say, what is the best information that I can give to help people? The best tips, the best strategies, the best stuff I know. What can I share to really, truly make an impact with people and really help people? Share that, because it's not about giving away your secrets. It's about establishing your position. I'll tell you, y'all, listen, I have gotten so much push from people over the years. Justin, man, you're giving away too much stuff. You're giving away too much of your content. Man, when I first started off, I had so many people tell me, Justin, whoa, I love your content, man, but you need to pull back because you could be charging for that. So share like 60% of it and then charge for the rest. You're going to be way more successful, way more money if you stop giving away all the secrets for free. And I'm like, no, that's not how I do things. My mission, I'm just going to give it away for free. I'm just going to get away for free and be helpful to people. What I figured out later is that the people that were pushing on me were getting real uncomfortable and real nervous because I was giving away for free things that they were trying to charge for, and I was teaching it better. I'm so sorry, but not really. All right, so what happens is this really, listen, this is one of the #1 reasons why I have been tremendously successful in building a business from my ideas. It's because I have never been afraid to give away my best stuff. Because I've always had this perspective of, man, because this is the thing. I connect, let's say Tasha, and I love Tasha. Tasha's one of my people. She's one of my clients. Let's say Tasha's first time today. All right. And she's like, man, I'm really trying to figure out this social media thing. I'm trying to figure out, how do I really get paying clients through social media? And then here comes this video. Oh, this Justin guy's talking about this. This is cool. So she comes in and she hangs out with me for an hour. And I'm just unpacking it and not only just giving you concepts and ideas, but I'm telling you exactly what you need to do and not do to be successful. And this is stuff that people pay me for, but this is for free online on this video right here. And she's like, this is so helpful. And what happens is you hang up this broadcast and you got a list of notes of things that you can actually take action on. You can actually be like, I'm going to go do this. I'm going to go update my photos. I'm going to go fix my bio. I'm going to change my links. I'm going to work on my content. I got to figure out these core themes that he was talking about. And my free content puts you to work. And you're like, man, that was super helpful. I'm going to come back tomorrow and see what else he's talking about. This is how I've built my tribe. This is how I've built my audience, one person at a time. Because every one of you at some point in time had a first time with me. And that first time was like, geez, that was really good. That was very helpful. I'm going to come back for more. And I'm going to come back for more. And I'm going to come back for more. And what happens is every single time, if I share with you all the things that I know about branding, every single time you have an experience with me about branding your business online, it's forming the perception in your mind that I'm the go-to guy for branding. If this is your first experience with me ever, or whether you're watching me live on Facebook or on YouTube, or even if you're listening to my podcast, if this is the first time ever listening to me, in 37 minutes I've been talking so far, you're already thinking, this guy knows what he's doing with social media. I could see him helping me, right? So I'm already forming the perspective that I need to form with you for you to view me as a hireable professional. I don't think there's anybody listening to this content that thinking, well, this guy's, he's all right. This isn't really his thing. He's just talking a little bit of social media today. No, you're viewing me as Justin's a business owner that has mastered social media marketing, knows exactly what he's talking about, and I should probably listen to him, right? So it's perspective. So my content, free content today, is building the narrative that I want to build. So along with that, right? So if I got 3 to 5 core themes, and the reason why I say 3 to 5 is because I think you need to have diversity. That's why I say minimum 3, but also maximum 5. Because if you get too many, if you're coming from all these different angles all the time, then people don't know really what you're about. And just, again, it dilutes your message. So if you have too many, it can just kind of dilute the perspective people have of you. But then if you have too little, you can become too singular and too boring. So, think about me. If the only thing I ever talked about was branding, that was it. I am a branding strategist. I can help you with your branding in your startup business. And the only thing I ever talked about was branding. You know, you might get bored with that. So I mix it up. So some weeks I'll focus on branding. Some weeks I'll focus on social media marketing. Some weeks I'll focus on personal development. Some weeks I'll focus on content monetization. So I rotate my themes to keep you engaged and keep you interested. All right, so your core themes are interested. Now, the other thing I'm just going to tag on this real quick is, now I'm going to go to number 5. Number 5, once you establish your core themes, number 5 is to create a content strategy and rotate it. Now, the reason why I say rotate it is because I want to keep you out of overwhelm. A lot of people will look at what I do, and man, that Justin's been, he's been doing content for over 5 years, and you're showing up every single day, man, giving us, I can't do that. I can't do new content. You kidding me? New content every week, and you got live videos, and you got YouTube videos, and you got podcasts, and you got blogs, and there's no way I could keep up with that. And honestly, you're right. As a brand new startup, if you're just getting started as a content creator, you can't keep up with that. Guess what? Neither could I when I first started. I first started 5 years ago. February 2016 is when I started live broadcasting on Periscope. I was not a content creator at all at the time. And let me just encourage you, all right? Let me just encourage somebody who needs this morning. All right, I started 5 years ago. I started my business 6 years ago. I started live streaming 5 years ago. I had no idea what I was doing. And not only did I have no idea what I was doing, but I also had no audience at all. I had maybe 100 friends on Facebook, maybe, that were just friends and connections from work and family and whatever. I had no social exposure whatsoever. I didn't even have a Twitter account. I started on Periscope. I started connecting on Periscope. The first time I did a live broadcast, I had, I think, 32 followers, and those 32 followers were a combination of friends and family, and nobody knew me. I had zero influence. Zero. Nothing. All right? And I'm like, all right, I'm going to try this live video thing. What do I do? What do I talk about? I'm like, I just got to figure out. And the challenge was, I got challenged to do a broadcast every single day for the month of February 2016. Weekdays, no weekends. So 5 broadcasts a week. I'm like, I got to do 5 broadcasts a week. What do I talk about? And so I started out at the time with what were my core themes at the time. My core themes at the time was branding strategy. I talked about Facebook, business versus personal, how to balance your personal page with your business page. I talked about Instagram growth strategy because I was doing pretty good on Instagram at the time. I talked about confidence and then time management. 5 things. And those are 5 things that I was comfortable talking about. So I just created some key points for each of those 5 things, and I established a rhythm. These are going to be my broadcasts. I rotated those 5 broadcasts every week for the entire month. I didn't come up with brand new stuff. That's why I say rotate it. Don't be afraid to repurpose your content. Somebody put that in the chat stream for me, please, will you? Don't be afraid to repurpose your content. This is how I started, all right? So I started out with 5 core topics that I knew I could speak really well about. And so I did them. Monday through Friday, I did them. The next week, I did the same 5 topics in a row. Same week again, same 5 topics in a row. So for 4 weeks straight, my first month of broadcasting, I talked about branding every single Monday. I talked about Facebook business versus personal every single Tuesday. I talked about Instagram strategy every Wednesday. I talked about confidence every single Thursday. And I talked about time management every single Friday. And I rotated them every week. Now my mission was, by the end of that first month, my mission was to have 10 broadcasts prepared. So that's starting in March, I could rotate my content every 2 weeks. So I created a second 5 days of content. So then I had 10 broadcasts that I could rotate. Then I rotated those every 2 weeks. My mission by the end of March was to have 4 weeks of content prepared. So starting in April, I had a full month of content that I was rotating every month. Then eventually it became 90 days of content that I could rotate every 90 days. Then it became 6 months of content. Now I have over 700 broadcast content that I've created, and I save everything. I have titles, I have topics, I have imagery that I've created, I have notes that I've created. I have a library of over 700 content topics that I can share from, that I've created over the years. And so I have this library. So a lot of the content that you get from me, like today, this is brand new content. It's just stuff that's on my mind and decided to share this today. But if tomorrow, if I'm busy, I got a lot going on, I'm like, I need to come up with a broadcast for tomorrow, I don't have to sit here and stress about what I'm going to talk about tomorrow. I can just open up my library, my content library on my computer, sort through the dates, look at the topics. I've got them sorted by my core themes. What do I want to talk about tomorrow? I'll find one. Yeah, that was a good one. I remember doing that a year ago. Click that one, pull it up. I have an image for it. I have a title for it. I have notes for it. Everything's ready to go. Pull it up. Sweet. That's my broadcast for tomorrow. It literally takes me no effort whatsoever to put together content, because I have so much content that I've created, but you have to build up from that. So when I'm talking about creating a content strategy, I'm talking about figuring out the rhythm that you want to have, and then establishing the rhythm, and then working your content in a way that will work to your advantage. I knew that at my beginning stage, I could not come up with more content. More, because I had a lot going on. So I'm just going to rotate these same broadcasts. You know what? Even if I did this one same I could do this broadcast once a week for the whole month. And every single time that I do it, I'll teach it a little differently, because I'm just going off my notes. This is all I have in front of me. I have my quote of the day and my key points. That's it. So I look at my key point. Let's talk about that. So I just talk about it. So every single week that I teach this topic, it's going to come out differently. Every single week that I teach this topic, there's going to be new people in the audience listening to it for the first time. Some people will come back and get reminders. My girl Kim Wendy, who's in here, has been with me for forever. Like, you've been with me from the beginning. She's heard me talk about every topic that I've got multiple times. She's probably heard me talk about these things before, but still, it's relevant today. It's helpful today. It reminds you, it challenges you to do the things you know you need to do, right? So again, every time I have this conversation, it's bended a little bit based upon where I'm at. So do not be afraid to repurpose content. And I'm repeating that because I can't tell you the number of people that I tell them repurpose your content and they don't. Why not? And the number of people that I have seen burn out and quit, and I'm like, why are you not broadcasting? Why are you not posting? Why are you not getting out there in front of people? I'm struggling to come up with new stuff. What do you mean you're struggling to come up with new stuff? You've got months of content that you've done. Why are you not repurposing it? Well, people have heard that before. You can, yes, and Camille just said it, repetition is the mother of skill. Absolutely. And you know what? For me, when I first started, I'm sorry to be yelling at y'all, but I really want you to get this. It's not a matter of yelling at 8 o'clock in the morning. It's a matter of, I just want you to get it, because I sincerely want to see you win. I sincerely want to see you win. And there's some factors, man. There's some factors that I have mastered over the years that have been absolutely influential in my ability to be successful. And I'm teaching them right now. These are simple things, but they're so impactful. So I challenge you. I challenge you to listen to what I'm telling you. When I first started, I was more focused on getting a rhythm of sharing content and being consistent. Rhythm and consistency were my primary goal. Content was I just need stuff to talk about, but I want to get a rhythm and want to get consistent. Now listen to me. I told you when I started, I had zero exposure. I had zero influence. Nobody had a clue who I was. No, I had no momentum at all. I was starting from ground zero, scratch. All right? I sold my first branding package in 11 days on Periscope for $500 to a person who saw one broadcast, a man named John that lived in California. One broadcast, 11 days on Periscope. When I sold that package to him after 11 days, I had 60 followers. Nobody knew me, but my content was relevant. John came in, I was talking about branding. I gave my points, I gave my tips, I gave my stuff, and he's like, this is really good. He was brand new to the Periscope app. I was one of the first people he connected with. He's like, I love this, man. He's like, would you be willing to get on a phone call with me? I said, absolutely. So I got his email. We scheduled a time to talk. I talked on the phone with him for a little bit. We determined how I could help him, and I sold him a $500 branding package from one broadcast. Attracting clients online and making money online is not difficult. It is strategic. You've got to get the right components in play. And those components are the things that I'm teaching you today, all right? Create a content strategy and rotate it. That's number 5. Number 6, very simple. I'm not going to spend a ton of time on this one because I'm going to get you out of here in less than an hour, I promise, all right? Number 6 is create a simple call to action. A simple call to action. When you share content, when you establish your core themes, that's your position, right? Your core themes position you. My core themes and my content position me in your mind as the go-to person for a specific thing. That's mental real estate. I'm establishing my position so that when you're having a conversation with your husband or your friend or whoever, and they're like, I think we need to get a website done. Mental real estate says, we need to talk to Justin. I think Justin, man, he's been so helpful with his content. I think he can help us. We need to get some branding done. We got to go to Justin. That's mental real estate. Man, maybe you're a business owner that's established and you've got yourself rolling, but you're struggling to operate like a business owner. I'm really struggling with discipline and focus and commitment. Justin shared a lot of great stuff on personal development. I wonder if he could coach me. Justin, mental real estate. That's your position, okay? Number 6 is a simple call to action. So once you've established your perspective and you've established your position, what's going to happen is you're going to have people that are going to be intrigued and they're going to want to take a step towards you. Give them a simple first step. Now I'm going to tell you this because it's something I learned through trial and error and by just doing what I do. People are much more apt to take action on something if they can take action right where they are. Okay? Let's say that again. People are much more apt to take action on something if they can take action right where they are. For example, if this broadcast is ringing with you and you are just loving it, I would love for you guys to go to justincapponpro.com/apply. And what that link will do is that'll take you to an application page. And if you fill out that brief questionnaire that I have for you, just asking you a few questions about your business, once I get that, that'll register you for a free strategy call with me. I usually charge $300 for a strategy session. I'll give you a free strategy session if you fill out that application for me. So that's anybody, whether you're YouTube, whether you're Facebook, whether you see this video a year from now, anybody who clicks that link and fills out that application. When I get that application, I'll review your answers. I'll reach out to you. We'll schedule a time to talk, and I'll give you a 1-hour free strategy session where I'll completely unpack you and your business, and I'll map out a plan for you for what you need to do in this season, no matter what season you're in. That is a strategic and simple call to action. All right? I made it simple by putting the link right there in the chat stream. YouTube, the link is in the description. Podcasters, the link is in the description. You can click that link and it'll take you right to my application page. Very, very simple. That is a simple call to action. Before I even had a website, before I even had technology, again, this is when I first started live streaming 5 years ago. I didn't have a website. I had nothing online whatsoever. It was just me and a Facebook page and a Periscope profile. What I used to do is I've always been simple. What I used to do is I would say, guys, listen, if any of y'all are interested in chatting with me, I'd love for you to put your email in the chat stream. And I know there's a lot of you that are thinking, I don't want to put my email in the chat stream, but the reason why I'm doing this, I'm challenging your ability to procrastinate, because a lot of you are like, man, well, maybe I'll go there later, or maybe I'll check his website out later. You know you won't, because as soon as you hang this broadcast up, that feeling is going to go away, and you're going to get busy being busy. So I'm going to challenge your ability to procrastinate, and I'm going to challenge you, if you want to talk to me, put your email in the chat stream, and I'll reach out to you. I used to say that all the time. In every single video I would do, I'd get email after email after email. People saying, all right, I want to talk to you. And I would reach out to them. I'd connect to them. I'd talk to them on the phone, and I'd close them. Just like that. Very simple. Simple call to action. What makes it complicated is when you're like, all right, guys, listen, if you enjoyed this today, I would love for you to go check out my website. It's IamSoAwesome. It's got more characters than most people know how to put together. They have a hard time finding you. They don't know where to go. They don't know what to click on. Even if they do go, they don't know what to look at when they're there. It's too difficult. They have to go somewhere, right? Or you say, you know what, if you're interested, talk to me. Why don't you send me an email? Tell me a little bit about yourself, and then I'll get back to you. You're telling them they need to go to their email, remember your email, and then write you an email. It's too difficult. Make it as easy as possible. All right? Make it as easy as possible for people to connect with you. A simple call to action. And it doesn't have to be salesy. Just simple. A simple step that they can take to get connected to you. Okay? The last two I'm going to give you. Number 7 is commit to new relationships. Commit to new relationships. If you want to attract new clients, you got to connect to new people. I'll tell you this. I talked about this a little bit earlier this week. Is last year, with everything that happened with 2020 and the pandemic and the shutdown and the lockdown and all that stuff, there was so much that I couldn't control. Like all of us, there's so much that happened that was just outside of what I was able to influence or control. So I made a mission to connect to new people, no matter what. I made a mission to connect to new people and just be constantly building and connecting to new relationships. You know, that's why I'm so all about Clubhouse. I love Clubhouse. I made January, my entire month of January, my sole focus was relationships. I made 220 new connections in January. New people. 220 new connections. New people. Every one of them are business owners. Every one of them I connected through Clubhouse and are now friends on my Facebook page and engaging with me on Facebook. That's 220 new business owners that I could potentially serve. That was just in the month of January. That doesn't happen unless you're intentional. You've got to commit, and that's a commitment of time. So, for example, I do a Clubhouse. I have a Clubhouse club on Clubhouse, which is the World Changers Mastermind. We do a Clubhouse chat every single Wednesday morning, 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. We had a Clubhouse chat yesterday talking about what did we learn from 2020, how did it impact us and influence us. Had a great room. I made 5 new connections from that chat yesterday. 5 new people. So as we're talking, I'm writing down their names. I'm following them on Instagram, connected them, writing their names down. After Clubhouse is over, I go to Facebook and I find them on Facebook and I friend request them on Facebook. As soon as they accept my friend request, I go into Messenger to send them a message. Tracy, what's up, girl? Listen, I appreciate you. Thank you so much for joining in my Clubhouse club this morning. Loved having you there. Even though we didn't get a chance to hear you speak, I just love that you were there. Thanks so much for accepting my friend request. I'm just love getting connected to other like-minded and like-minded people. Glad to be connected here. I hope you have a beautiful day. Hang it up. I sent him a voice message, and then I get a message back. Justin, loved it. Loved your chat this morning. Excited to get to know you better. I'll definitely be following you. Love it so much. Can't wait to see what you're up to as well. I'm just establishing a relationship. That's not salesy. And there's somebody in here going, that sounds like a lot of work. I block off an hour after every Clubhouse chat that I do. So when I end Clubhouse at 10, between 10 and 11, my mission is to connect to as many people in that Clubhouse room as possible and get them connected on Facebook. Because I know if I wait, I'll either not do it or the time will pass where if I wait 3, 4, 5 days, if I go and try to connect to Tracy 5 days from now, she's going to be like, who is this Justin guy? Well, why is he sending me a friend request? But if I do it right now, I'm fresh in her mind, and I have the ability, I have rapport established already. I'm going to leverage the rapport. Now, that's a lot of work. That's time. But that's why I say commit to new relationships, because it does require you to be intentional. All right, I got 3 minutes until I got a client call. My last one I'm going to give you is number 8. This is the bonus one. All right, this is the fortune is the follow-up. If you're on whatever platform you're on, I challenge you to screenshot this screen so that you can look at this, all right? The fortune is in the follow-up. This is statistical fact. 48% of salespeople never follow up with a prospect. 25% of salespeople make a second contact and stop. 12% of salespeople make only 3 contacts and stop. Less than 10% of salespeople make more than 3 contacts. Now to the second section. 2% of sales are made on the first contact. 3% on the second, 5% on the third, 10% on the fourth, and 80% of sales are made on the 5th to the 12th contact. Follow-up is an absolute necessity. Most people are struggling to attract paying clients simply because they lack the ability or the commitment to following up with said people, all right? That's what I got for today, guys. I got to get to my client. Have an amazing day. Hopefully that was good for you. If you want the points and the notes, I put them all in the description of this video, so you can go right there and copy those. You can get a hold of that image for the follow-up stats as well. I hope you have a spectacular day. Be intentional with your time today. Be intentional with your talent, and I will see you guys all around the web, all right? Take care. God bless. I'll see you guys later.